thinking that the boss has become a weak woman now. Alright. Actually not weak, but 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. Who knows what that guy Rodan will do if he is severely wounded and tied up. Now, even the people in Baituan were attracted by it. All eyes cast over. They see this. As if he understood something, he felt a little comforted in his heart. Hey, what's up with that look on your face? That's right, the boss will definitely be found by us. The red group all looked unhappy at this moment. Beckman interrupted them with a wave. Then he took out a piece of snow-white square paper. This card. At this time, it is slowly floating in one direction. This is the life card. Is it the boss's? This way. You will know the direction. Well, that's him. Beckman's eyes are sharp. I was watching before, no matter where she goes. The life card just floats in one place. And now, it happened to float in the direction where the flying boat left. Set sail. Beckman is still very calm. Our purpose has changed a bit. Everyone responded loudly. Everyone has no opinion. While the captain is away, most of the strategies and directions are planned and led by Beckman, the deputy captain. It can be said, if Shanks, who is cheerful and joyful and likes banquets, as compared to the sun, Beckman, who is not talkative but not majestic, is the moon. Now the former is gone. The latter is the real boss. Naturally, everything should be listened to him, and he is the master. Actually, Rao is the calm Beckman, and he also feels a little F***ked in his heart. The captain becomes a woman. Then he was abducted by the newly promoted strongest pirate group. It does not make sense, but as a ship's officer, he naturally couldn't show it like others. Hope. Nothing happens. He exhaled slightly. Red hair pirates if there is no red hair. What is it called, red hair pirates? Speaking up. Now the 4 emperors have gone to 3, and even their own captain has become a delicate woman. Predictable. Everything that happened today is known. Especially what the big news Morgans learned. The whole world will be refreshed by chaotic newspapers. Era. Will run amok again. A near unowned new world. It will definitely make the pirates even more crazy. Can Marine hide it? Beckman muttered to himself. Suddenly saw an airship in the distance, and above. It was Morgan's. It seems that they are still waving to this side, very excited. That guy, isn't he afraid of death? The next day. Newspapers. All worked hard and stayed up all night to produce them. Reporters headed to Marineford, for a while. There are too many of each. It wasn't until a large number of Marines were dispatched that these people were blocked out of the sea. But there is no impenetrable wall in the world. Morgans had already collected the material, and the whole person fell into a frantic working state. This matter. The world government can't hide it at all. Only 2 days. Almost all the eye-catching headlines were sent to all over the world. Akainu, one of the former Marine 3 admirals, and Fujitora, one of the new 5 admirals, both died in battle. Surprise. Marine hero Garp and Marine Marshal were wiped out by the Rodan pirates in order to gain time to escape. Commander Kong is seriously injured and dying. Female Kizaru Admiral? Rodan Group has added another hero, suspected to establish a new Marine? Summit war ends. Marine Admiral is almost wiped out. Whitebeard died in battle? Rodan will be the new king of the sea. Female Whitebeard, the top fighter of the Rodan pirates. Marine has no admiral to suppress the sea? The Rodan pirates will lead the first half of the Grand Line? The silent world government acknowledge this defeat? A piece of bad news about Marine. Commoners and nobles are terrified. Some people. It fell limply on the cold ground. No way. This impact is really too big, now. In South Blue, one of the 4 seas, on a certain summer island. How come? This battle, how many people are left in Marine? Is the world government about to fall? Why are you silent? Maybe he hasn't reacted yet. No, tell me it's not true. Without Marine. Damn it, what will we allied countries do? Isn't the money in the sky just now paid for nothing? Rodan is so vicious. What are they doing? One Piece may not be so powerful, right? Are they trying to overthrow the world government? 2 monsters like Marine Admiral died at once. How is that possible? And Marshal Marine? A lie. This must be a falsehood written by the newspaper. That's right, such unnecessary things must be fake. But why is Marine silent? A large number of people poured out of the street. Like a lost soul. Those who really couldn't accept it went directly to the Marine branch station nearby. Going to ask for clarification. Pity. Got his silence. In other words, he hesitated, saying that he had not received perfunctory words from relevant news from his superiors. They dare not tell the truth, but don't say it. People must be suspicious. Really difficult. Tell a lie. There is no way to hide this kind of thing. At the same time, it also makes the civilians lose their trust in Marine. So, they are also in a dilemma, and this scene. All of a sudden, the small towns on the island suddenly grew up. The feeling of panic is getting more and more pervasive. Then, pirates took this opportunity to attack in. After all, there are people who are worried, but someone is always happy. Happy people. It refers to these pirates who do all kinds of evil and do nothing to produce them. But I'm afraid the world will not be chaotic. And this is taking advantage of the emptiness of the Marine station due to the war, especially after knowing that the admiral of the headquarters has been defeated. Decision made. Right now is a golden opportunity. Great for looting. The rest of the islands have similar things happening. A fierce battle between Marines and pirates, as for the villages and towns of the small islands. Don't say it now. I can't even care about it normally. It doesn't matter anymore now, for Marine. It is mainly the islands and kingdoms that have paid the sky gold. That's the most important thing, at last. After the pirates dispatched, most Marines were temporarily repelled by advanced guns and ammunition. But this, not a long-term solution at all. Once you can't settle down, the pirates will only become more and more rampant. And at this time, the Revolutionary Army is also becoming more active. Although they don't appear on weekdays, they have branches in various places. This time, but an excellent opportunity. Help civilians. People are available, at the same time. The same goes for West Blue and North Blue. There are many pirates. This time, even more unscrupulous, and East Blue. For many years, he has been suppressed by the Marine hero Garp and dare not make a big deal. Strong. All were killed. Those who are weak dare not do too much. Now, pirates have no scruples anymore. East Blue. See Restaurant Barati. Because of the Summit War thing, customers are far from decreasing. Instead, Crazy added a lot. Why? It was a news agency that exposed that Rodan had worked in this store for several years. It's in the newspaper. There are also rumors. Therefore, many people poured into the restaurant with curiosity, flattery and other small thoughts. Especially the news that Marine was defeated and the sea was about to change. Together with Barati's reputation has soared. Business. That was so hot I couldn't even imagine it. Inside the restaurant. Have you heard? Marine Admiral was actually killed. Why does this sound like playing house? Hiss. Is that really what we East Blue people did? Even Roger, the One Piece, can't do it. More than that, it is simply unprecedented. Your news is outdated. Didn't you read the new newspaper? Naval Headquarters has Sengoku of UN Shifo. Martial Marine? The Martial Marine who turned into a woman? That's fake. I heard it's an undercover agent of the Rodan Regiment. Their ambition is not just the great treasure of Raftel, is it? Is this intended to cause a world controversy? Snapped. Don't talk nonsense here, don't you guys know where this is? Diners discuss Marine and world governments, but talk about the central figure. Without exception, Rodan surrounds him, and he is in almost every sentence. One diner wearing a gold chain said something slightly against Rodan. Then someone blocked his mouth. Outside. You secretly say yes by yourself. This is the place where they have worked, and they are very honored to have an appointment. Talk nonsense again. If it is heard by the chef and waiter, it will reach other people's ears. I can't even eat and walk around, at this moment. Call out. There was the sound of a cannonball firing. Boom, Balati began to shake. Everyone in the restaurant staggered and stopped eating. Where did the shells come from? See. Pirates. They quickly got up and leaned over to the window to look away. It's a pirate ship. They seem to be chasing a ship. Are you robbing a merchant ship? Won't come to us. Damn it. That merchant ship is here. Wait, the flag of that pirate ship is the recently rising Black Bear Pirates. Everyone's expression changed upon hearing this. Original. They are not worried. Barati dared to open a restaurant on the sea, so he naturally has the ability. The ordinary pirates are here, even if it is a little more vicious. Can handle it all. But this time, it's a black bear. This is a terrifying existence that has defeated several branches in just a few days and has become famous. The human branch couldn't stop it. Barati can handle it? Pause time. The diners panicked. One of the waiters didn't dare to hesitate after seeing the pirate flag. Report directly to the head chef. Soon, Jepu took Patty and others to the bow of the ship. Now, on board the Black Bear pirate's ship, a man with thick hair and a muscular body folded his arms around his chest and proud. A pair of confident look. After seeing Barati in the distance, the corners of his mouth grinned even more. Like a bad idea. Hey, that's the restaurant on the sea. Lousy hasn't been there yet, hee. Boss wants to. Of course they directly robbed the chef and property. There are also rich people who eat so much. Captain Black Bear laughed. At this time, a younger brother hurried over, but the captain, we can't go there. Well, what did you say? That's right, there are rumors that Rodan, the captain of the Rodan regiment, has served in Barati for several years. It seems to be confirmed, even in the newspapers. Rodan. Hear the name. Even the ferocious face of the Black Bear couldn't help but tremble. The heart speeds up suddenly. Which Rodan? Beside. Ahahaha, spineless guy. A cadre with a knife laughed. Besides, such a thing. Who would believe it? Such characters. But there is an existence that is not afraid of even marine and world government. In the past, he escaped under siege. This time, it is a direct frontal defeat. How could it be possible to stay in a restaurant and still be a mere waiter? It is impossible to think about it. That is to bluff children. Anyway, he didn't believe it. Idiot you. Captain Black Bear cursed. Then he punched him into the deck. Lousy is a big muscle, but not a fool. You want me to take this risk? Go and rob the place where the king of the sea once stayed. If you want to die, don't pull Lousy. The dozens of people behind were silent. There is no action. Even if that cadre has been with everyone for a long time. This is indifference? No, this guy deserves it. They did not sympathize with this hammered companion. This guy. As simply mindless. This matter. There were rumors before the papers came out. Although I don't know if it's true or not. But now Rodan's reputation is getting worse and worse, and he once reached the peak of the pirates. Even if there is a slight possibility, he doesn't even want to provoke this kind of existence. Besides, which newspaper dares to joke about such a thing? Forget about that merchant ship, all retreat. The Black Bear waved his hand. Although he hated the ship, he didn't want to offend Barati's people. It's the boss. Most of the pirates let out a sigh of relief. And a sense of relief. If the boss really wants to go his own way and rob Barati, they will be very embarrassed. Etc. Black Bear raised his hand again. Everyone's heart ached. I'm afraid the boss can't think about it alone. Black Bear's face was low. Go back. Barati's people must have seen us. The shells almost hit them just now, in case those people harbor resentment. Boss, you. The faces of the pirates changed. He clenched his sword and gun tightly. They looked at each other. A gleam flashed in each other's eyes. It's not to cooperate with the boss to kill. But, in turn, although the captain is a demon fruit power, everyone works together. There is still hope. Just when the pirates were nervous and wanted to do something at any time. In a word, let them breathe a sigh of relief again. So, we have to go and apologize. The Black Bear swelled up and pressed down. Why are you still so nervous? Could it be that you can't wait to rob someone? If so, he does not recommend teaching a few people a lesson first. The pirates were startled when they heard this. Hastily waved. Fortunately, no shot. Maybe he really can't beat the captain. Boss, what are you thinking? Yeah, we're not going to be stupid. Once we are missed, the terrifying pirate group, I'm afraid they can wipe us out with just one crew member. Everyone shook their heads. They've been on the Grand Line. The reason for coming back was easily defeated by Marine's Kazaru Admiral. That kind of strength, it's like a god with them. A laser. An explosion. Let them be the original team crew. Now there are 10 out of 10. So, they still have a general understanding of strength. All monsters. And what about Rodan? Actually killed several admirals. And the marshal. It's unimaginable. You can say that. If anyone wants to develop a crew in East Blue, they will definitely be the first to respond. It's a pity that people may not look down on it. Then, after the Black Bear Regiment stopped shelling, it took the initiative to lean on Barati. Then in front of the bewildered Barati diners, Chef Jepu and others apologized. All the vicious pirates still refused. Especially after Black Bear learned that Rodan really worked here. He was even more excited. He patted his chest and said directly in front of everyone, "Useful to arrive. Just call them the Black Bear Group, and they are guaranteed to be there on call." Then, after shivering politely, he walked away numbly. Don't dare to be offensive. As for merchant ships, who cares about that? Zap breathed a sigh of relief. He was trying to hide that he had been here with Rodan. But now I don't know who has leaked it, he said. No. No one believed it at all. If the paper can't hold the fire, it's just like this. Boy Rodan, have you come this far yet? Zap sighed. Complicated inside. There are strangers. There are worries. And a hint of an inexplicable sense of accomplishment? Yes. After all, who would have thought of a child he once saved? How did it grow to such a large size? Although it has nothing to do with him. But look at the people around you, and the previous Black Bear pirate captain's respectful appearance in front of him. Still a little cool. Now. The diners recovered from the shock. They looked at each other, immediately afterwards. The eyes of Jepu, the head chef and owner, were bright, but they were not too presumptuous. Instead, contact the waiter first. Ask about the situation. But there are others who are more direct. 3 steps changed to 2 steps, and he came up with a flattering look, and started chatting with Jepu and others. Now. The people on board the Barati merchant ship also came up excitedly to express their thanks. After the incident spread, people from East Blue. The believability of this is growing. Even nobles and kings went to Barati for dinner. Some were attacked by pirates. Alone, he also took money and went to find Barati to pray for asylum. In fact, this incident in East Blue is just a small beginning. What happened after World Economic News? It's what drives the pirates, even the Marines, crazy. Because of Rodan. Not just the Marine Admiral, the Marshal, etc. were wiped out. There are a few more big pirates standing at the top of the world. All Shichibukai will be annihilated. This will be a system that exists in name only. Whitebeard resurrected. Super earthquake kills Marine Admiral. Following Marine's serious injury, Rodan killed Kaido of the Beasts. 4 emperors once again disintegrated one person. The Big Mon pirate group fell apart. Charlotte Linlin died with a real hammer. The culprit is still the Rodan group. The second of the 4 overlords of the New World was brutally crushed by the Rodan regiment. In-depth analysis. Whether the red hair pirates are safe or not, is the era of 4 emperors really ushering in the twilight? Enemy against the world? Rodan deserves to be the overlord of the world. Seba Rodan will become the new One Piece. The New World is stepping into the process of unification. How will the world government respond? Newspapers like that. Not only in the World Economic News Agency. The East Blue Daily, the Four Seas Daily, and all branch newspapers, big or small, published and publicized this event. This turmoil. No less than the front. 3 of the 4 emperors died. 2 of them. It was all done by one pirate. This is not a cat or a dog. Here. Not only marine palpitations, even the pirates were too shocked to speak for a long time. Rodan. Do you want to rule the entire New World? Now. Logtown. This is not only the place where Roger was executed, but also the place where the 2 strongest swordsmen in the world clashed. Since those 2 fought, the number of tourists passing through here has not decreased. Instead, more and more. Most of them were swordsmen who had come to see the horrible scars left by the 2 of them. People who come. They are all amazed. Frankly speaking, I have opened my eyes. Followed by. The newspapers also announced the rematch between the 2 during the Summit War. This battle greatly exceeded everyone's expectations. The position of the world's #1 swordsman is even more finalized. Hawk Maiden. The well-deserved super #1, great swordsman. This. And that's just one of Rodan's regiments. I heard it's not the strongest. It is conceivable that the whole team is so scary. Logtown is not living in peace recently. Yeah. Whitebeard's last words. But made more people crave for the great secret treasure. HMPH, my bastard has been yelling to go to sea, so you shouldn't show him the newspaper. Your family is okay. The girls in my family regard the Rodan group as idols. Who's not? In other words, a lot of people have been going to the Grand Line recently, and the pressure on our East Blue side has been reduced a lot. Hey, in fact, pirates still don't dare to mess around. How to say? From now on, East Blue will be Rodan's territory. Will they allow other pirates to mess around? Keep your voice down. Don't be heard by people from Marine and world government. What are you afraid of? Didn't they lose this battle to the Rodan pirates? People on the streets and alleys are all talking about it. At the same time, there are also doubts about the veracity of the report. Because of this, it is too exaggerated. No one can figure it out. The Rodan regiment was obviously surrounded by many marine admirals. Why? Killed admiral. Can take out the space to destroy Kaido and Big Mom again. This should have been impossible. Now, it's really incredible, isn't it? Twin point. Crocus leaning on the recliner. The newspaper in his hand trembled slightly. This moment. He wondered if he was wrong. If it's true, they will be far ahead of Roger. Roger ushered in an era. And Rodan. It is an era of 4 emperors that was abruptly wiped out. The first half of the Grand Line. Whiskey Peak has been cleaned up before, and now it has reformed a group of bounty hunters. Originally, it's no business, but these 2 days. Their workload has suddenly increased. That's right. More and more pirates are passing through the upside-down mountain. And that. It's all meat in your mouth. Happy bounty hunters would like to thank Whitebeard and Love. Alabasta. King Cobra and Vivi, standing on a high ground lost in thought. They are hard to imagine. The one who targeted the Shichibukai now beats the Marine. Also killed 4 emperors, such an initiative. Reduction of Shichibukai, is it really done? But the system still seems to exist. He used to think Rodan was telling jokes, but now. But I don't think so anymore. It doesn't matter if the system still exists, it will be dismantled sooner or later. Only. That man's footsteps seem to have not stopped yet. For a while. He remembered Rodan sitting in his seat and said that he also wanted to sit on the Void Throne. This sentence, he is still impressive. Father, look, there is new news about him. Vivi passed the newspaper over. Since the Celestial Dragons incident last time, the nobles of the world have rarely come here. Or. I don't dare to come here, especially recently. Some of the Celestial Dragons learned that Rodan's regiment had defeated Marine. Even more frightened, straight trembling. The degree of fear of Rodan has increased a lot, and I am very afraid of this kind of terrorist in my heart. No Lulu bubbles rose from under the vines as usual. Sabaody lands the hearts of the islanders, but no longer. Hey, isn't this a rumor? The news is out, what do you think? I think. If it wasn't for Whitebeard, Marine wouldn't have lost in the end. You're joking. Didn't Whitebeard even kill an admiral in the end? Rodan is the core of this war, right? When did even Whitebeard become a foil? Chatting. Someone blushed and spoke up for Marine. A commoner couldn't listen anymore, so he stepped forward to refute the man who spoke to Marine. There's no denying Whitebeard's power, but finally alive. Is truly the most powerful, anyway. Being forced to this extent, it is impossible for the world government to forget it. Don't you dare to leave the Holy Land without seeing the Celestial Dragons? The storm is coming. If there is a fight, I hope it won't affect us. You think too much, this is related to the whole world, how could it not be affected? People worry about the future. The balance of combat power maintained by the world government is not good. Greatly tilted up. Also, similar scenes were staged everywhere, and the pirates also competed and became chaotic. A part of pirates. For the big treasure sprinting towards the new world. The remaining. It is to take the opportunity to attack the island and plunder. They have seen the cruelty of the sea and the fierce competition. No way to go to the new world. There is a large sand net for sifting people, if the body is not large enough. Went. It must also be leaked. Easily swallowed by the abyss. Besides, the new world is changing now. 4 emperors lost 3. Everyone wants to grab land, but never thought about it. That man. Make you so unscrupulous. It's okay to be included. Not happy. Kill you in minutes, so. This group of pirates really started their old business. He robbed his house and went away, it's just that they never thought of it. In the first half, Marine's military strength has not been weakened because of this incident. On the contrary, it has been strengthened a lot. Just ran out of Huko. The Revolutionary Army has also become more active. Into the snake's lair again, than before. The situation of the pirates in the first half seems to be more difficult. The other side. Because of Whitebeard's death, plus the great secret treasure confirmed before his death. More and more pirate ships are going into the sea with coating. Go to. The Fishmen Island. Clang. Z-la-la. The sound of metal and iron clanging, accompanied by the splashing of blood, resounded continuously. Now. In the center of the Fishmen Island. The great knight of the sea, King Neptune, is leading a group of men and horses to fight against a group of evil pirates. And this scene. In the rest, for example Marlin Mall, Waterwheel Town, including the Fishmen Islands East Blue Northwest has been staged. Pirates are everywhere, they have guns and cannons. Don't miss the sight of the beautiful murlocs. Some grabbed the tail of the fish, some grabbed their hair. There are no exceptions after fishing. Everyone can't wait to be snatched into the sack. When a large number of the Fishmen Island soldiers came to the rescue, it was already a bit late. A large number of mermaids were captured, and the number of pirates. It has far surpassed them, and it is still increasing. They are all pirates who are here to share. They are hungry. They crave. They are greedy. These pirates have used actions to clarify their goals. Upon learning of Whitebeard's death, after being unable to shelter the Fishmen Island anymore, it will be logical to plunder the more cherished mermaids of the Fishmen Island. Change hands for a while, but it can be auctioned for an extremely rich price. Hold back for so long, seeing that there is a treasure mountain in the sky, but it cannot be developed. That taste. For pirates who rely on robbery for a living, but is very uncomfortable. You bastard pirates, do you know what you're doing? The Prince of Sharkstar was full of anger around him. At this moment, there were only 2 or 3 Murloc soldiers left, surrounded by a large group of vicious pirates. They laugh. Eyes full of desire. People on the ground. Whether it is pirates or nobles, or even civilians. In fact, everyone thinks that Murlocs and mermaids do not belong to the category of humans. It's just the fish, in conversation, killed. No burden. To be honest, if it weren't for the restraining order from the top of Marine, the Fishmen Island would be a member country. Even Marine. I'm afraid I can't help it. Woo ho 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 ho. I've raised you for so long, is it time to let the blood out? In the crowd. One of them was huge. A man with a brown beard, 3 braids and a captain's cap stepped out. He is a T-beard. One of the pirate captains who invaded the Fishmen Island this time. Bleeding. Damn. What do you guys think of us? A Murloc soldier heard this, immediately export angrily. But haven't spoken yet. There was a shot. His chest was soaring. A spray of blood shot out. Stature. It also fell precariously on the coral floor. You are nothing more than a group of fish that look like people. T-beard slowly retracted, grinning. Besides, we still sell humans, let alone you Murlocs. Ha ha ha, I finally made a lot of money this time. What kind of shark prince is that from the palace, right? He is white and tender, brothers, be gentle later. Maybe there will be female nobles on the ground. Okay. I can't wait, hey, the pirates laughed. Shrinking the encirclement little by little, he moved towards Sha Xing and the others. Nearby town. There were constant shouts of killing. Sharkstar was anxious but powerless, he glanced at his father in the distance. Discovery also fell into a disadvantage. The situation is not good. As his face was pale, he couldn't help rubbing his fists tightly. Then, the trident suddenly pointed forward and said sharply, "You. Aren't you afraid of Marine? We, the Fishmen Island, are one of the member countries of the world government. These pirates are really fast. Almost at the moment they learned of Whitebeard's death from the newspapers. It has arrived. In the case that the Fishmen Island has not yet made preparations. Encountered this scene. I was really caught off guard. Coupled with the gradual accumulation of pirates who heard the news outside the mouth of the island, they gradually became powerless. Marine? Did the news you receive from the Fishmen Island lag behind? Hey ha 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 ha. Both Admiral and Marshal Rodin's regiment were killed. Marine. Can't save themselves. Do you still expect them to save you the Fishmen Island? What a naive idea. The pirates laughed. Take out the special thick hemp rope prepared in advance. Them. Ready to tie up the huge Sharkstar prince in front of him. Although it is not the mermaid that male nobles desire. But the female aristocrat might be interested in it. Besides, he also bears the title of prince. The price will definitely not be low. As for Marine. Hee. Marine is currently busy. How can I have time to take care of the Fishmen Island? Even if you have time. Hey, it may not necessarily come to help. He was killed. You all know that was a newspaper lie, right? How could Admiral and Marshal be killed? Sharkstar pretended to be calm. Besides, you are not afraid that we, the Fishmen Island, have been included under the command of other 4 emperors? Actually, when the pirates came in, The palace realized something was wrong, and immediately contacted the Big Mon pirates. Try talking. Pity. Never connected. As for the rest of the redheads and Kaido pirates, trying to communicate. No news yet. Woo ho 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 ho. It's really not a normal lag to say that your news is lagging behind. Or. Are you still kidding yourself? T-Beard stroked his braided beard, and shook his head. 4 emperors. They exist in name only now, right? Can you, the Fishmen Island, be contacted now? Can't get in touch? Sharkstar and others have not yet responded. A pirate who looked gentle in appearance and resembled a military advisor asked back with a smile. If they are not fully prepared, did not inquire in advance. How come again? Although the Fishmen Island has a strong military force, each Murloc's basic strength is stronger than that of humans. But who are they? They are pirates. Those who lick blood on the tip of the knife will not be afraid. Besides, more than one pirate group coming down? Property, arms, treasure, slave, mermaid. Which one is not what pirates desire? 4 emperors. How can there be any 4 emperors now? The only red-haired Shanks is also rumored to have disappeared in an accident. You the Fishmen Island, let everyone slaughter you today. Ha ha ha. The pirates laughed wantonly while approaching the center continuously. Damn it. Sharkstar took a step backwards with an ugly face. The Fishmen Island. Are you going to return to the chaotic state that your father said before? The pirates are approaching gradually. Sharkstar. Hold the trident. The disparity between the numbers of the two sides is too great. In fact, there is basically no possibility of winning. But he. Still ready to fight to the death. For my sister. For the fishermen. For the Fishmen Island. He has 10,000 reasons why he can't back down. Ah. Murloc artifact time flowing water grab. The burst of shouting fell. The puddle on the side was agitated. The water flow was drawn to Fen Lai's front line. He quickly swung the trident, preparing for the final slash. Everyone. Stop it. At this time, a clear voice resounded through the whole of Fishmen Island. The sky above the Fishmen Island. A huge pink figure was escorted by a group of Murlocs, riding a big shark towards it at high speed. While flying, she is also holding a handle-shaped thing on one side. Shouted loudly. For a while, everyone really stopped. Sharkstar's trident also froze in midair. He looks up. Immediately, his eyes burst into tears. Shirahoshi, run. Heart. Very anxious. The younger sister didn't stay in the safe place arranged in advance. Why? Why did you run out suddenly? Don't you know it's dangerous? Neptune, who was struggling hard, was also stunned. Then, distracted, the belly was torn open by a pirate. But Neptune, it seems that there is no consciousness at all. Keep your eyes on the sky. Slowly bleed up. What are these guards doing to let Shirahoshi come out like this? Damn. That is his most precious daughter. Anger exploded from his chest, but what follows? It is a deep pain and weakness in the body. Peeved. Knife for wounds. There is still blood in the abdomen. But the pirate who inserted himself in front of him was looking at Shirahoshi at a high place. Neptune grinned. He suddenly thought of what the man had said. Self-strong. That's the real power. Other people. After all, it cannot be relied on forever. That is. Why is Princess Shirahoshi here? Ha ha ha. Is that the princess from the Fishmen Island? She is as beautiful as the rumors say. It doesn't lose the face of the pirate empress, it seems true. Get rich. Get rich. If you sell such an appearance to the nobles of the world, you must be able to make a lot of money. Hey, he belongs to Lousy. Jahahaha. Let Lousy inspect the goods first. Don't hurt her, or you won't get a good price. After quiet, the pirates erupted in an extremely enthusiastic wave. They have been coveting the legendary Murloc princess for a long time. Such a beautiful woman. Even on land, it's also very rare. There was little hesitation. They tried their best to swarm upwards. Hungry. It's like not drinking water for 3 days and 3 nights. Where did Princess Shirahoshi see this posture? She, who was less timid than her, heard this obscenity. And many explicit and wanton remarks, immediately scared. Her light white hands embraced herself. A trace of tears overflowed from the corner of his eyes, arousing pity. Father. Brother. A sense of helplessness filled Shirahoshi's body. Now. The pirates below rushed up. Several Murloc soldiers glanced anxiously at Shirahoshi beside him. Princess. Don't forget the purpose of coming here. Be reminded like this. Shirahoshi also reacted. Immediately, a phone bug was pulled out from behind. She just took it out. The appearance of this phone bug attracted a group of pirates with special fishing boats. The rest of the pirates were fighting with the Murloc soldiers. Also froze for a moment. Look from afar. It's as if the movements of this group of people are collectively slowed down by half a beat at this moment. And Shirahoshi was holding the phone bug in his hand. The appearance is very refreshing and handsome, with a dark blue cloak on the turtle shell. The corners of the mouth are slightly hooked. It's a confident look. Very familiar. At least. Featured often in newspapers everywhere. Now. Do not know why. The sea thieves below get closer to this phone bug. The more heart palpitations. Obviously just a phone bug. But it seems that there is an invisible coercion radiating from the body. What's going on? There is such a sense of oppression. I feel like I can't move. I've only felt such a terrifying coercion before in Whitebeard. Hey, you said she suddenly took out the phone bug. Could it be that she really contacted Big Mon or the Kaido pirates? Sudden. A drop of cold sweat dripped from the forehead of one pirate. But soon someone interrupted. Impossible. The 4 emperors must be dead. The news has spread all over the world. Big Mom and Kaido's subordinates. I haven't seen anyone come out to refute the rumors. That's right. And Marine has been silent all the time, obviously acquiescing. It shouldn't be Redhead either. Then who do you think it will be? Wait. That look is very familiar. Everyone stop. The pirates in the distance couldn't see the phone bug clearly. But close. His pupils shrank and he immediately had a guess. At this time, the phone bug finally made a sound. Not even Shirahoshi's additionally prepared loudspeaker. Sound. It was conveyed thousands of kilometers away. But no one has the time to pay attention to that aspect now. I heard. You guys have an idea for the Fishmen Island? Very magnetic male voice. Penetrate the air. All over the corner of the Fishmen Island. Gulu. The pirates swallowed water one after another. The male voice was actually quite unfamiliar. But Rao is like this. No one dared to say anything at all, betting it wasn't that man. The old man Whitebeard is dead. Big Mon and Kaido are also killed. Do you think? Without the 4 emperors, you can do whatever you want. Do you run amok? The voice fell. These pirates who dare not even take a breath. My palms suddenly broke out in thick sweat. More. Get your clothes wet. Why did they dare to come? Is it because I want to take advantage of the danger earlier, before the other parties have reacted? Want to make some good money? But now? The sacks were half full. It is really difficult to let them go out again. But don't panic, it's not necessarily him. At this time, under the tremendous pressure, T-Beard glanced up with a knife. The original color of greed. Now it has become trembling. I can't even care about Sharkstar. Excuse me, are you? Rodan. The voice of the phone bug is very low. The people present heard the words. His complexion changed instantly. They guessed it. But after people admit it personally, it is even more convincing and shocking. Facing the pressure directly, T-Beard's legs gave way, and he fell to the ground with his ass. The name. In recent times it has become Marine's nightmare. At first, pirates are all gloating, they hope that all Marines will die. After all that, you can be unscrupulous. Rodan has also become a nightmare for pirates. As for why? Killed all the Shichibukai in one fell swoop. And the 4 emperors, not enough nightmares? Shichibukai. It shocked the people in the first half. How is the strength? It goes without saying. And the 4 emperors. That is an even more terrifying existence. No one knows their horror better than the pirates of the Grand Line. Stuck in the first half. It's not that I'm afraid of the 4 emperors of New World, failing the challenge or not daring to challenge. Don't want to join its ranks. And now such a top. Even a great pirate who will definitely become a legend in the future. But was easily slaughtered. Who to change? Who is not afraid? If it weren't for the news and the turmoil that New World is creating at the moment. No one would believe it. Believe in this. Might as well go to 5 elders as 5 women. Actually, pirates also have their own guesses. The Rodan regiment has gone through this great battle and successive top-level battles. None of them showed up. Everyone wondered if something went wrong? Or maybe it's a big loss. Maybe burp with the 4 emperors. Also hold such intentions. Pirates dare to be unscrupulous. But this phone bug interrupted their delusions. As for authenticity? Will it be fake? This coercion. Isn't that true enough? It can't be the pressure of the phone bug itself, right? T-Beard's pale lips trembled, and he didn't have the courage to speak. But there are always unbelievers coming out. For example, Peachbeard, who is under the command of the Blackbeard pirates in the future, is now working alone. Master Luo Rodan, I'm sorry, we didn't know this was your territory. The Fishmen Island. Not even a pirate flag about Rodan's regiment. Definitely included temporarily, otherwise they didn't dare to come in. But Peachbeard wouldn't just say it stupidly. My lord. Actually, you don't know that these people in the Fishmen Island are not safe. They have been contacting other 4 emperors before, and they only contacted you after they couldn't get through. What do you want to say? Master Rodan, the Fishmen Island must have 2 hearts. But we can help you manage these disobedient guys. Peachbeard. A triumphant smile appeared. The surrounding pirates looked at each other. Did not expect the guy with the peach beard would have so much guts. But they really don't want to give up the Fishmen Island, which is more than a valuable asset. The scene fell silent. After Neptune learned that his daughter had contacted Rodan, things started to get complicated. He doesn't think so. Just a word from Rodan in the air can make these pirates wave their hands. Fact. And indeed, these pirates are starting to talk. Neptune clutched his painful abdomen and was about to shout to explain. That loud voice in the sky, 1 step ahead of him. It's very interesting. Help me manage it. What are you guys? Backquote. Language fall. Dao Huzi's heart trembled. The rest of the pirates also shuddered, their eyes frantically beckoning him not to talk nonsense. No, because I didn't mean that. Dao Huzi quickly waved his hand. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. If you don't leave, just be prepared. Rodan just finished speaking. Boom, there was a shot. A blood hole appeared in T-Beard's chest, and he glanced in another direction in disbelief. Bang bang bang. Another few grabs. The T-mustache had lost half of his face. After struggling a little, he breathed his last and fell on the coral street. There are always idiots who want to hurt people. The T-Beard limp on the ground withdrew his flintlock. The eyes are sharp. He only fired the first shot. The remaining. They were all opened by other pirates. Lord Rodan, that guy was killed by us just now. T-Beard let out a sigh of relief. We will do as you say. Whatever you say is what you say. The rest of the pirates hesitated. They all put away their knives and guns and untied the mermaids in the hemp belts and hunting nets. Royals like Neptune and Sharkstar. Even the mermaid soldiers looked unbelievable. Pirates. Infighting? Wrong. I just killed 1 person, the other pirates are well behaved? Rodan's power. Is it that big? Just a few words to get them done? The one who brought the prophecy of destruction, the Fishmen Island. Now, did it save the Fishmen Island instead? For a while. After the islanders and soldiers got complicated, their hearts were full of gratitude. Thanks to Princess Shirahoshi. No, Lord Rodan saved us. Will these crazy pirates go away with a few words? Is the influence of the Rodan pirates so great? Nonsense. Didn't you read the newspaper? Great. We, the Fishmen Island, have sanctuary again. The kidnapped mermaid. Not a bad one, all back. Pirates. After bowing his head and apologizing, they all fled in desperation. The people of the Fishmen Island didn't care too much. Rodan wasn't there after all. In case these pirates suddenly get jealous again, they don't care. Isn't that the end? And at this time, the islanders cheered and jumped for joy with their lost relatives. Powerful to Rodan. They are also becoming clearer. See this scene. Princess Shirahoshi was in tears. Kind of her. I can't see anyone dying in front of her. This man really helped a lot. Shirahoshi rubbed his eyes, approached the phone bug and said sincerely, Lord Rodan, thank you so much. Don't be too happy. The voice is very calm. Shirahoshi was taken aback, and said cautiously, do you have any request? Of course, if the Fishmen Island wants to get my protection, it will naturally have to pay a price. Cost. Well, just provide me with a batch of mermaids every year. What? What? Shirahoshi shuddered. Pink hands covered her lips. The same was true for the surrounding Murloc soldiers, who immediately became nervous when they heard this. Offer others they can accept. But this beautiful mermaid. Lord Rodan, you. Okay, it's just a joke. It's not very useful to me, and besides, I have something to do, and I will talk to your father and king later. Finished speaking. The phone bug returned to silence. Shirahoshi's pretty face was blushing, and he seemed a little confused. But the heart is always relieved, so far. The Fishmen Island is temporarily safe. After these pirates left one after another, the soldiers of the Fishmen Island planted the flag of the Rodan Regiment in a circle as quickly as possible, including the entrance, after replacing all Whitebeards. Just breathed a sigh of relief, fortunately. Sheltered them. Otherwise, relying on the world government is really useless. Maybe they were later celestial dragons, still thinking about enslaving them. And the news that the Fishmen Island was included in the territory of the Rodan Regiment. It also spread quickly. Pause time. The rest of the pirates who were about to go to sea lost their minds. Just kidding. Money. Can life matter? The Fishmen Island borders on the New World. Want to catch them? That's easy. New World. Dressrosa. Because of the previous fight between Rodan and Doflamingo, most of the buildings on the island were destroyed. Still rebuilding. But this land of toys of love and passion. After this incident, no muffled. Instead, get excited. Dressrosa also lived in harmony with the little people called fairies. A look of joy. Now, King Riku stood on the high ground of the king. Looking into the distance, there was doubt and shock in his heart. A few days ago, the Rodan group tried their best to kill Kaido. They can all see this. It turned out to be overnight now. The Rodan group just killed Kaido and Big Mon? And even called the marine executives to yell. Even Admiral and the Marshal are dead, in his opinion. It's too exaggerated, and it's too exaggerated. It's too unbelievable, Your Majesty the King. At this time, a soldier trots up, panting. King Liku turned his head slightly, and said softly, "Well, what's wrong?" Officials from the world government came to the port and said they have something important to discuss with you. What are they doing here at this hour? King Liku frowned slightly, nodded and said, "I see, let's receive them normally." There was a hint of speculation in his heart. Estimate. Related to the Rodan Regiment. The base camp of the original Big Mon pirate group. IWC. The Cake Island is the main body here, and there are 34 islands dotted around it, which are managed by 34 ministers respectively. The sea area collectively called Toto Land, very strong. This is still a huge kingdom composed of races such as humans, murlocs, mermaids, and fur tribes, as well as mixed races of different races. Under the former rule of the 4 emperors Big Mon. Just like, it is a pinnacle color, at least. But that's it. But the current Wan Guo is far from worthy of that honor. At present, it's a riot. More than half of the brothers and sisters who went on the expedition did not have the slightest news. The Homits on the island has also disappeared completely. This caused the desert islands that were originally full of life to become dead silent. Chess soldiers, foot soldiers, queen soldiers, king soldiers, and cookie soldiers. The eyes are all closed. Like losing his soul, he fell down on the desert ground of each island. Very weird. Also very chilling. Especially the left-behind members of the Charlotte family on the island. In the eyes. Has a strong color of fear. Because they know. This might mean something. Time passed by every minute and every second. Because I can't get in touch with Big Mon, there are so many rumors with the outside world. The hearts of family members. Even more restless and more active. Including the people of different races who live on the island in constant fear. And so on and so forth. A little longer. There is a civil war on every island. Some are fighting for power, some want to break free from all nations, and there are even foreign predators. A real mess. And one of the founders of the Big Mon pirate group. Naturally, the long-bread nicknamed Gourmet Knight cannot sit idly by. Now Big Mon is suspected to be dead. He has to preside over the overall situation, come out to take charge of the scene. Only. No one paid any attention to the old man. Even if he is powerful, but Charlotte has so many siblings. Although some were transferred during the expedition to the headquarters, most of them were elite soldiers. But the island. The power of staying behind cannot be underestimated. A little old man can't hold back everyone. This leads to. The chaos in the world is intensifying at this moment. Without the shackles of chess soldiers and Big Mon, those who were once oppressed will lose the giant sword hanging above their heads. War. Gunpowder. Unscrupulous became the theme song here. Now. Cake Island Center. As the tallest building, the Cake Castle was smashed to pieces. Right half. It was damaged like a half-eaten apple, and the inside was exposed. Above the promenade. Call out. Boom. Palala, there are constant sounds of breaking and falling, and occasionally the noise of guns and ammunition. In the hall. Cakes and items stumbling around. Crack, big. Mon's most precious portrait of a nun was ruthlessly trampled to pieces by a red leather shoe. No one cares. As usual. If the big Mon is still there, they will either pass out, or their souls and lifespan will be drained directly under the rage. The preciousness of this portrait. Even the children are far from comparable. As for now, who cares about that? Quick, take everything you can. Why are they all dessert cakes? Treasures, treasures. Where is that dead old woman hiding? Thanks to the Rodan pirates, we have a chance to escape. It's unbelievable. But hurry up, I heard that strange pirate ships broke into other islands. Maybe it's because the Big Mon is dead, and other pirates want to make money. Which pirate group is so courageous? You guy. What if you were under the command of the Rodan regiment? Then there is no need to break through at all, and all nations will belong to others immediately. Escaped. Most of them treat people and civilians. Initiated war. A member of the race who wanted to leave the Big Mon pirate group for a long time. They were all forcibly captured, such as some long-handed and fur tribes. In order to form the so-called utopia, and this kind of turmoil is happening in the entire 10,000 kingdoms. Also, it's the same scene at the base of the Whitebeard pirates. But Marco and other former captains are still there. Did not die. After all, there was no mess from Whitebeard. At the same time, on the back of the distant Elephant Master. Furry Principality. Everyone. Hurry up, everyone. Watch the news. Whitebeard is dead. Kaido of the Beasts and Big Mon too. Is the era of the four emperors coming to an end? What? What nonsense are you talking about, kid? Show me. At least Redhead Shanks is still around. The newspaper also said that there was no trace. Newspaper, from receiving Kaido's defeat to Kaido's death. This wave. Not long at all. After the Fur family reacted. In shock. He hurriedly ran to inform the King of the Day, Inwaran, and the King of the Night, the boss of the Cat Viper. Kaido has been entrenched in Wano-kuni, dead now. But there is only one big snake left. Take the pressure off by half. This undoubtedly provided a good opportunity for these two former members of the Red Sheath 9 heroes, Inuarashi and Momoshiru. Confirm the authenticity first. 987 has already been investigating outside, now we need to wait. Notify those two. That's all. The Furry Principality has started a tense deployment. This is an opportunity. Wano-kuni is actually an extremely xenophobic country and has not joined the world government. But there is the ally, Zo, and Zo's Fur tribe made a strong alliance with the Wano-kuni ruler Kazuki family hundreds of years ago. He used to be called a brother. Later, Neko Mamushi and Inuarashi were killed in Wano-kuni. Also received the favor of Kazuki Oden, thus became a vassal. The vengeance of the cat and dog has never been extinguished. But there is the four emperors Kaido and the huge army of Zone. They are powerless. It is also impossible to go to die knowing that you can't beat it. But now Kaido is dead. 100 beasts, almost collapsed in half. Although Wano-kuni is under the rule of Kurozumi Orochi, there is still a strong army. Totally capable of a touch. Every member of the Fur tribe is a born warrior. But there are also some anti-war members in the clan. But the principality is now ruled by the Night King and the Day King. The two work together. All voices of dissatisfaction will be suppressed. Certainly. The premise is that the conflict between cats and dogs can be resolved again. In the forest where they live, Duke Inuarashi touched the newspaper into tacos with both hands. The lens is covered with water mist. Finally, have you waited for the opportunity? His hands trembled. He looked toward somewhere in the forest with some feeling. There. A huge shadow with yellow hair came over. Wano-kuni. The capital of flowers. At this moment, as in the past, the fragrant peach blossoms are falling down one by one. People are all happy. No worries. No newspapers from overseas either. Actually, because of the closed country, the news from Lu to Wano-kuni is delayed. For foreign news, I don't know yet. I don't know how long it will be delayed until the newspaper seller arrives. So what should everyone do or do? Little did he know that the outside world was already turbulent. Now, on the other side of Wano-kuni, it is the poor civilians who have been tortured, and the people of small villages who have eaten their last meal and never left their next meal. The air here is not fresh. Rivers are also polluted. Compared with the capital of flowers, In addition to the prosperous appearance of Wano-kuni, there seems to be more dark side of the country. But today, this dark side was gradually expelled. Because places such as Rabbit Bowl and Lingha originally produced weapons, huge chimneys emitting black smoke. Suddenly they all stopped. Air pollution is dropping rapidly. At the same time, for unknown reasons, the many pirates stationed on Wano-kuni broke out in riots. Together with many slaves escaped, the capital of flowers. At this moment Kurozumi Orochi is having a banquet. He drank wine without a sip, and there were singers and dancers performing on the left and right sides. Little days. It was very comfortable. Drunken, dreaming and dying, but that's all. And Kurozumi Orochi enjoyed it immensely. He. What a beautiful piece of music. He smiles. Until the sudden intrusion of a subordinate. General, it's not good, General. Something serious has happened. Sitting cross-legged on the bamboo mat, Kurozumi raised his purple eyebrows slightly. He wears a crown and has a large head and mouth. Tall and strong. He is not very tall, him at this time. His sallow face was reddish. Not only does he not look like a monarch, but he looks a bit like a drunk. But no one would really take him for a drunk. What is it, since you dare to disturb the general's discomfort? Orochi was a little unhappy. Seeing this, the subordinate quickly ran to him, bowed his waist and secretly said a few words to him. Guangxi Lang guarded by a knife on the side. His eyes moved slightly. The other side. Wearing a beautiful kimono, Xiao Zi played a musical instrument. Peach Blossom eyes also moved towards that curiously. Then took it back. But the next second, she trembled all over and stopped the movement of her hands. It was a sharp cracking sound. Scared her. Snapped. Strong wine was scattered all over the floor. Impossible. I saw Kurozumi Orochi on the main seat, grabbing the subordinate in front of him with both hands. Shouted loudly. Do you know how strong that guy is? How could an accident happen? As soon as this statement came out, the audience fell silent and came. Kurozumi seemed to realize that he had said too much, and his thick purple eyebrows frowned. Gritted his teeth. Let go of the flustered subordinates in their hands. Then waved back the people around. Except for Guangxilang, all come down for me. There is also Xiao Zi. You should leave first. Now. He's completely drunk. Good General. Xiao Zi regained her senses and nodded. Standing up and bowing his head, he made a farewell gesture. Then he left with all the concubines. Before leaving, he also pretended to be casual, and glanced at Guangxilang. Naturally, the other party didn't make any movements, but a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. Da. Xiao Zi lowered her eyes and left. The rest of the people did not dare to neglect, stepped on their clogs together with the servants and stepped back respectfully. There are doubts in my heart. Accident. Who had the accident that would make the general look so shocked? The door closes. The warm room was empty, and it became a bit colder. Now there are only 3 left, respectively, Kurozumi Orochi, Kushiro, and the subordinates who came to report. Kushiro, curious heart. There is a touch of excitement. He vaguely heard the news that Kaido had an accident. Certainly. Maybe it's fake. Things like this happen often, saying that Kaido went to commit suicide and so on. Only. This time seems to be a little different. General, I absolutely dare not lie to you. You should read this first. A subordinate in a black kimono. He took out a roll of newspaper from behind the waistband, and held it in front of Kurozumi Orochi with both hands. Newspapers from overseas. What absurdity. Kurozumi waved his hand and took it with disdain. Then open it and watch it. Did Kaido have an accident? Snort. It's ridiculous. No one knows how strong Kaido is better than him. In my memory. And only Kazuki Oden can scar him. Only. Before he could think about it, he was attracted by the things in the newspaper. Gradually. From disdain to dignified. From dignified to disbelief and panic. Hands holding a newspaper. Get up and tremble slightly. The eye-catching characters on the newspaper made his throat a little thirsty. The defeated Marines Admiral, Rodan, the real king of the New World. Kaido and Big Mom die together. The Rodan pirates rule the New World. Want to get the big secret treasure in advance and become One Piece? You and the like. There are many, many more. But Kurozumi Orochi was not in the mood to watch it anymore. This. Where is this accident? Everyone died. Accident? Nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's all fake. Kurozumi slapped the newspaper on the bamboo mat. Slightly flustered. newspapers from overseas. He also looks at it occasionally, and the credibility is actually average. But reminiscent of Kaido's previous anomalies. And hastily summoned his subordinates to go to see, and gave himself a perfunctory reason when he replied. This series down. Something could be wrong. Kurozumi Orochi panicked again. Rodan Regiment. He's seen it a lot in newspapers, but under Kaido's influence, he's always dismissed it. It is considered an unwarranted exaggeration of the news. It doesn't affect him either. I didn't care too much. And now. Kaido. Killed by someone who disdains, do you want to be more funny? But thinking that no matter how much he contacted these 2 days, he couldn't get in touch with his king Huguo Ming. Such a coincidence. This could not help but make Kurozumi Orochi's little heart quickly jump up, although Kaido usually ignores him. But you can also get a general understanding of the situation through the 3 disasters under the opponent's hands. And this time, even the 3 disasters disappeared together, and none of them could be contacted, which was really abnormal. Kurozumi Orochi looked at his subordinates with stern eyes. The real fights in the capital of flowers, have you asked about them? Asked. The subordinate swallowed. The news they got is also unreachable. Because the island was transferred away at 0 hour, many people from the 100 Beasts Regiment. Currently still stationed at Wanokuni. Actually not much. This newspaper. It caused a riot among those real fighters. If it weren't for the majesty that Kaido has squeezed for many years, the invincible and immortal figure left by his subordinates would still be there. Probably ran away. It's going to be dire. A drop of cold sweat dripped down Kurozumi's forehead. Now. Huang Shilong on the side was keenly aware of his abnormality. Saying it is false. Appear not to care, but the body has been exposed. General. Do you have Master Kaido's life card? You can tell if it's true or not. Kagashiro approached and reminded quietly, I want Kaido to die. But the strength of that guy has been deeply engraved in the hearts of everyone. Want him to die. But think rationally. That guy is really too strong. The probability of death is really very small. When Kurozumi heard this, his pupils shrank 3 times. He slapped his thigh violently. Spit out of alcohol. Yeah, I almost forgot about this, talking. He fumbled out a small treasure box in a panic. There is a Kaido's life card in his storage. This thing is very precious. It is estimated that there are not many people in the Beast's Pirates. Before opening, he breathed a sigh of relief, pretended to be calm and said, HMPH, it must be an overseas rumor. Talking. Kurozumi slowly opened the box with apprehension. A tight seam was exposed. The light from the room shone in. Kushiro couldn't help getting closer. Number? Kurozumi Orochi frowned. Are the seams too small? Or did he remember wrongly? Why is there nothing in it? What are you looking at? Kurozumi Orochi looked up sharply. Kagashiro, who was close to his cheek, and his subordinates were startled. Hurried away. You guys don't believe in King Huguo Ming's strength. Kurozumi Orochi reprimanded the 2 of them. Dare not approach. Just feel free to open the box completely, that feeling. It's like opening a blind box, and I feel very nervous. Squeak. A small voice sounded. Here. Kurozumi Orochi sees clearly. Kurozumi's scalp tingled, and the box flew out. The body fell back. Eyes of horror. Inside the box. Really nothing. That is to say. The expressions of the subordinates in black kimono and Kushiro have changed. But the mood of the 2 is completely opposite. The former is creepy, the latter. That's ecstasy. No, it must be where I stored his life card. Wrong. Kurozumi Orochi was at a loss. Tried looking for other boxes. But no matter how I look for him, I can't find him, as if there is only one of them. There was a panic. His heart gradually changed from anxious to calm. After all, he has been sitting in the position of general for so many years. After the initial panic, it was quickly adjusted. He asked back in his heart, so what without Kaido? His Kurozumi Orochi is now fully fledged. It's better without that guy. Then Wanokuni is his alone. Wouldn't it be better? Power. Think about it. Kurozumi Orochi laughed out loud. Let Kushiro and the black kimono subordinates look at each other. But the next second, the laughter stopped again. Yes. Kaido is gone. And a Rodan. Thinking of this suddenly rising pirate group, the confidence that Kurozumi Orochi had just ascended to disappeared instantly. It cannot be an enemy. Absolutely not. But he and Kaido were allies before. Will that guy let himself go? There is no direct conflict. There should be a point of reconciliation, right? He didn't take the initiative to provoke it. Kaido is an idiot. You can't die by yourself. Suicide everywhere. It's good now. Satisfied. Kurozumi let out a long sigh. Kaido is so damn good. Not him. I won't be in such a precarious situation anymore. And at this time, on the opposite side, Huang Shilong's eyes gradually darkened. He is thinking about one thing. Kaido is dead. Do you want crazy death? Kurozumi Orochi suddenly yelled, while thinking quickly in his mind, you. Huang Shilong closed his eyes, subconsciously. Kaido, General Orochi, what are your orders? Put away your thoughts for the time being. Now. It's not time to kill the big snake yet, without him. I don't have any reinforcements. Even if you kill Kurozumi Orochi, you won't be able to get Wano-kuni out. This guy. In any case, it's the Phantom Beast Demon Fruit power. A knife won't do. Wouldn't his years of waiting be in vain? So many years. Princess Hiyori bowed her knees in front of her enemies. Greeted with laughter, it turned into a piece of lois. But opportunity will come soon. Then. The Red Sheath 9 heroes teleported away several people, but also left several people behind. He immediately thought of the Cat Viper and others in Zou Island. But Kushiro thinks of the Rodan regiment again. Pause time. I fell into deep thought. You find Fu Lu Shou and the others. Kurozumi Orochi said in a deep voice, be quick and don't let anyone know. Is it everyone in the imperial family? Huang Shilong raised his thick eyebrows, approached him in a low voice and asked, if you dare to ask the general. HMPH, don't you understand? Seeing that Kushiro is also a reliable person, Kurozumi said softly, the Rodan pirates will definitely not let this place go. Before we come, we must set an example no matter what. After enjoying it for so many years, he has long been immersed in it. So, he won't let go of Wano-kuni. Up. After everything is ready, isn't it impossible to talk about it? What do you mean? Gather our own forces and encircle and suppress the Kaido remnants currently in Wano-kuni. Kurozumi Orochi sneered, if Rodan comes. Also saw the words he and the beast's pirates broke up. Surely not. So, he intends to strike first. Even if you can't wipe out Kaido's people, you must drive them all to Onigashima. Hurry up and get rid of the relationship, Rodan regiment. Kill the remnants of Big Mom. The people on Ghost Island will definitely not be released, and the remnants of the beast group will delay it. After no foothold, will definitely escape. You are really smart. Huangshi Lang gave a thumbs up, squinted and smiled. This guy. It's beautiful to think about. HMPH, of course. Well, hurry up and get to work, and announce that Kaido will be immediately removed from the title of King of Protecting the Kingdom. Kurozumi Orochi shook his hand. He still has a series of things to do. Announce Kaido's evil. Tell yourself that you were being coerced, etc., all of which must be carefully planned. At the same time, Island of Ghosts, in a certain room. A woman in white with handcuffs and a demon mask, with horns on her head. After receiving several newspapers handed over to the giver. Look carefully. Then, the air was silent for a while. Wearing a mask, she couldn't see any emotion, she just raised her head lightly. Are you sure? The voice is cold. There is a sense of indifference that rejects people thousands of miles away. Several Endowers looked at each other. Actually, we don't have Kaido-sama's life card, so we don't know the specifics. What about the three big guys? No Black Maria. Master Jin has no news either. As for Lord Black Maria, originally there was, but I can't find it anymore. So now, only you. Several people are very sincere, said it was not found. That's actually a smoldering cloud, no more. Now. In addition to pinning the hopes of the 100 beasts on Kaido's only heir, Yamato here. There is no other way. Yamato was silent for a while. Immediately, he raised his bound hands and said, do you know where the key to the handcuffs is? About this, Lord Black Maria has already explained to us in advance. Several people were talking. He took out a key. Crack, the chain fell off. Just fell. Several givers felt a chill rushing from the spine. Yamato wearing a mask. Like a caged animal coming out of the cage, the whole body exudes an amazing aura. You Grand Line. Isle of White Clay, Baldigo. Here, it is the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army. Inside the camp. On a huge round table. At this moment, several people in black cloaks were sitting. They are seated. They each took off their hoods. This meeting. The chief of staff and the 5 army commanders are all here. Apparently this matter is very important, and in the first place. There is also a very dignified man. He has square-colored tattoos on his face and short brown hair brushed behind him. No eyebrows, stubble on the chin. Overall, somewhat strange. But such a man belongs to the Revolutionary Army. Long, your father is dead. At this time. A rough voice sounded, and it sounded a little harsh. At this time sideways position. He was greeted by a man in stockings with an afro head and purple lips. It's not just scolding people casually, but he speaks straighter. Row is like this. The brows of the other army commanders trembled. But no rebuttal. The news brought by the newspaper this time is indeed too explosive. Garp is suspected dead. Marine lost several admirals. The key is, after they went to investigate, find out that most of the deeds in the newspaper are true. Not only the Marine side, and pirates, Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom. If these 3 die, the pattern of the sea will change. Now, all 3 are dead. That's not just a matter of layout. World. That might all change, and their revolutionary army is bound to be in this storm. Can't escape. Long was silent for a while, and then said, I believe, he didn't die so easily. There was a pause. It seems that he doesn't want to continue to mention his father. He asked Ivankov seriously again. So, the woman on the Rodan pirates has nothing to do with you? Huh. Dragon. What do you mean? Ivankov suddenly became a little furious. If I did it, how could there be repeated people? Both male and female Akainu debut, his fruit power. It's not a character split, in addition. This guy. Are you doubting yourself? I simply don't believe it. Besides, where does he have the ability to get close to Akainu Kizaru and the others? He can't touch them with an elementalization. How to give estrogen injection? Even if it is really successfully reformed, what ability does he have to make people submit to the Rodan regiment? Simply nonsense. Is Long this guy taking revenge on what he just said about his father? Long, you are too petty, Ivankov said. The main reason is that your fruit ability is too relevant. By the way, you just got out of prison. Have you met the Rodan regiment? Are they really as powerful as rumors say? This can't be described as strong anymore. No matter how strong it is impossible to kill the 2 emperors. Betty is right, I suspect. They have a weapon of mass destruction. Several army commanders discussed. But, after speaking, he still looked at Ivankov. After all, he is the closest to him on the battlefield, and he has the right to speak. Talk about Rodan. Ivankov's carefree look also restrained himself in an instant. It's like changing faces. Very serious. They are a very terrifying pirate group, and their individual strength is very high. In Rodan, to be precise, I haven't seen him take a long shot. Or against naval headquarters, there was no one worth his shot. His subordinates not only have 3 Logia-capable users, lava fruit, sparkling fruit, sand fruit, and one more. You will never guess who it is. He paused. Seeing that everyone's appetite was whetted, he opened his mouth wide and said, it's that. The person who is so vaguely mentioned in the newspapers. Stop repeating Ivan. Who the hell? Several army commanders frowned and said. Who else has shock fruit? Of course. Whitebeard. Well, a female Whitebeard. As soon as this statement came out, not only the army commanders were surprised. Even dragons. They all wrinkled their brows without eyebrows. Actually, get all the Whitebeards out? Thus, even if you directly challenge the world government, you have the confidence, right? Several high-end combat power. They have surpassed their revolutionary army. Long. Suddenly had a bold idea. Now. Just when the 4 seas in the Grand Line were boiling, and the undercurrents were surging. The 5 elders of the Holy Land are also suffering from headaches. Between flowers. Kong wrapped himself in a bandage, opened the door and walked in. The silence of the 5 people in the room was broken. Kong stopped after taking 2 steps, face. No longer the perseverance of the past, it's full of exhaustion. No one knows how many things he has been busy these 2 days, dragging his age for nearly 100 years. It's not just what's on the job that needs to be dealt with. Extraordinary. Take care too. Now the Marine hero, the Marine Marshal and the 2 Marine Admirals are missing. Or rather, no bones left. This, to morale. Even a series of aspects are heavy blows, one is not handled well. Not to mention stabilizing the outside, the inside cannot be stabilized. Although he is trying his best to kill the impact of this war. But still to no avail. The old man in white robes sat on the sofa. He glanced at him and said, "The situation is too severe, this world summit needs to be held in advance." "Is the Shichibukai system to be officially abolished?" Kong asked. "Cancel?" The fluffy old man shook his head. "The Shichibukai are all dead. What's the use of this empty shell? Keep it for a short time. Can you attract powerful pirates? Now that our majesty has been discredited, who will join in with confidence? This world summit is not about that." The blonde old man leaned on the sofa, crossed his hands and said, "On the surface, it is a decision-making Shichibukai, but this is just an appearance." He hesitated to speak. New World has no place to compete, and in the near future, may really be integrated by him alone. By that time, the world government will have to face the challenge. It will be unprecedented. Several people looked solemn, not as relaxed as before. All right. After Rodan demonstrated the summoning ability, they feel bad about it. Only, Rodan exceeded their expectations time and time again. Even Dynamite Rock and One Nation didn't kill them. Not only that, the loss of the other party is also unclear. So passive. Drag it on. The pressure on the world government will only increase. Kong frowned slightly. The power of the franchise countries is not strong, even if all of them. You don't have to think about it. The old man Ben Hu interrupted him, calling them all over. There are other things. Now the franchise countries must have been shaken. Do nothing. Maybe he left them without saying a word. There is no offering of heavenly gold. Then what else does their world government play? Is the red hair confirmed to be gone? Still certified? I don't want to mention this, I have to hurry up. Marine's strength has been shattered after this battle. After all, it is not a problem for you to take the Marine Marshal temporarily. A new Marine Marshal needs to be produced as soon as possible. The Admiral seats. Don't say 5, even the original 3 seats are not available. Mention this. Kong's face was extremely ugly. Currently only Aokiji, Kizaru, Fujitora are still alive. Remove Fujitora. Pick the Marshal. Definitely pick from Aokiji and Kizaru. Needless to say these two people. Aokiji and Kizaru. Definitely Aokiji. You can't let Kizaru be the Marshal, can you? Let alone whether that guy is willing or not, even if he is willing. Really let that guy come. Estimate. It is estimated that the entire Marine is abolished. So only Aokiji. The key is, there are only 2 people left in 3 draws, where can I find an Admiral? Momoshagi and plus Count. Although these 2 are Admiral's substitutes, but the overall strength comparison still has some shortcomings. That's your business. Deal with it as soon as possible. In addition, this time we will also work hard this time. The voice of the 5 elders was strong again. Kong sighed slightly. Are you working hard? That at least has to use the strength of breastfeeding. Undeniable. World government. There must be some hole cards, but can it really settle the current chaotic situation? Not sure. The old man is leaving first. Kong went out. And 5 elders is still being discussed. Although the specific situation of the battle is unknown, the battle damage of the Rodan regiment will definitely be very serious. The strength of his team is still swelling, and there seems to be no end at all. We must not fight a long game. We're in the light, he's somewhere in the dark. How hard is it to find? A decision must be made as soon as possible. Lord IM is already very dissatisfied. Turn up. Confirm and deal with the battle damage situation, and quickly make combat deployments. This is what they think. Pity. The card is stuck and cannot be found. New World. The nations in the Big Mon Sea area are several nautical miles away. A super golden arc that has been frequently published in major news headlines recently. It's coming here slowly. On the arc, Rodan was lying on a recliner. Beside, it's leaning against the railing. Shanks looking at the sea. Is there any point in bringing me here? She turned to look at the man behind her, serious eyes. Meaning? If you have to say it, you need to use your strength. My power? Is that what brought me into this world? To be precise, I need your red hair pirates. Rodan put his hands behind his head. He glanced at the pirate empress who was waiting aside. The latter moved slightly, gritted his teeth. Holding the juice in your hand, lean over and put the straw on the cup. Approach the past. Shanks glanced at Boa Hancock with a cold face. Frowned slightly. It's outrageous for a woman to serve a man. This It is the result of Rodin's training. Who would have thought of the once majestic and mighty pirate empress? Will give a man caring service. Speaking up. Rodan had wanted to dress Hancock in a neat minion outfit. Zhang Nehi. The other party feels worthless. He can only give up at. Let her serve in the original Cheongsam. How do you think about it? You mean to let my pirate group into your subordinates to obey your instructions? Shanks reacted quickly, and smiled slightly. Let's not say whether I agree or not, even if I agree. This is not my original world. Beckman, will they listen to me and obey me? That's not something I have to worry about. Rodan paused, and then said, actually, you alone are enough. You are so eager to recruit people now, do you want to? Shanks faintly had a guess. Is my goal already blatant? Rodan smiled, and didn't bother to explain so much. Say. I'm curious about your real identity, are you celestial dragons?